Yes, so hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the project Riga Meditation School, and the episode series Meditation Around the World. And today our guest speaker is Jonas from Belgium, who is meditation trainer from World Peace Initiative and also IT specialist. So today he will share a bit more about his meditation journey, as well as Benelux Meditation Center and yes, his personal experience and the tips for anyone who wants to start with meditation. So now I will give a floor to Jonas.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Riga. Nice to see you again. I'm going to start by sharing my screen, but I think you first have to allow this for me to happen.
Yes, I think I now it should be possible.
Okay, let me try again. And now it works perfectly. Give me a second. It's popping up on the wrong screen. All right. This should be better. So I have my PowerPoint ready. So today we're going to talk about meditation practice and especially preparation, because I learned it way too late that it's really important to have a good meditation preparation. I always thought we just go with the flow, and when it's needed, we sit down and then we let it happen. And mostly it works. But if you really want to get in uh, um, a much deeper state of meditation, you need some preparation before your meditation. Also, when you're new to meditation and you have this kind of you don't know what's happening, you don't know what's going on, then it could be nice to have a preparation so you shift your expectations too. So here I'm going to the next slide, and I'm first going to briefly talk about myself. I am Jonas Maes. I'm 35 years old, and I live in Belgium, and I work in IT. Since IT is a very busy job with deadlines and schedules and people requesting things, and sometimes the work life is kind of a bit of a chaos. Also, there is some kind of need in myself to do a good job, and that puts extra things in my backpack, makes it extra heavy. So I was looking into self-development for quite a while. I started around 2005 when I decided to stop things like partying and going out in the weekends and have a more relaxing life. I started with yoga was the first thing I started. Then I got into the breath work and ice baths, and there's been a couple of more things on my journey. And then suddenly in 2022, somebody told me, like, we have a meditation center. It's actually a Buddhist temple, like 15 to 20 minutes drive from where I live, and I always wanted to go there. And I discussed it with people, and suddenly someone told me, like, I'm going there, and I'm going to a one-day retreat, so a full meditation retreat of one day. And I was going with a friend, but she canceled on me, so maybe you want to join. And I said, okay. I said, let's see what happens there. And since then, I've been going to the weekly sessions at least one time a week. And then I think 1 year later, I also went with the people from the center on a journey to Egypt. Also with it's not a full meditation retreat. It was also like having fun. It was a holiday, but it had one meditation included per day, and that's where I really felt that things were shifting. So I really felt, hey, this is doing something. If I could do this at home also, like every day, then this could change my life. And since then, I'm doing it on a daily basis, and trying to do it on a daily basis. Not every day successful, but we do our best. And then after a while, the temple is connected with the WPI company. It's an NGO. They are called World Peace Initiative, and they actually coach non-Buddhist people to guide in the Dhammakaya meditation, so that you can be a guide in their type of meditation. And I decided to join this, which I've successfully finished last year in November together with Gundega. So we achieved it together. It was a very nice journey. And what's so special about this? Normally, this Dhammakaya method can only be guided by monks. So it's really kind of a sacred thing. But they want to spread this form of meditation because it's really, really good, really helpful. It really works. And they want to spread it in a non-religious way. And that's why they want to use like people from Africa, people from the Middle East, people from Europe, and people from USA and South America to spread this meditation, because, as you know, our society is always getting lots and lots of busier, and we always take more and more things on our shoulders, and sometimes the world just needs it to just relax, stand still, and come back closer to yourself again. They also have WPI also has coaching in Better Me, that's more into self-development. And in this summer, I also got my certificate to be a Better Me coach. So that was a busy year, the last 12 months. And so that I'm gonna talk a small bit more about the temple. So they call it officially in Thai, it's Wat Phra Dhammakaya, Belgium. It is the biggest of their temples in Europe. We have several, I think, in Germany, one in north of Italy, I think some in France. Scandinavia also has quite a while, I think 3 or 4 maybe. I heard Greece also has one. Iceland has one. But this is one of the biggest temples, and we call it in Dutch then Bron van Stilte, and that means the source of silence. That was the Belgium name they gave it to the temple. And you also see the website there. If you are interested, you can take a look. We have weekly meditation sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's just 1 hour that you come in, you have a seat. There is a small talk, a small teaching by my colleague Andy, or by me, or by my colleague Ruben, and then we do a meditation like half an hour, 40 minutes, and then when it's over, everybody goes home again. So that's on Tuesday and Wednesday in the evenings, and a couple of times a year we also host 1-day retreats. So that's arriving in the morning and then leaving by dinner time around 6 or 7. But those events are Dutch events. We also have English spoken events. Those are more multi-day events, because it's not just common that people come from another country just for one evening. So there are hosted events by WPI, so that's official Dhammakaya retreats organized by monks and by the WPI, and they are brought in a non-religious way, so everybody can come with their own religion and also benefit from these retreats. Then also we have the events that are organized by Andy and Monk Pasura. They call it European retreats. They are mostly one weekend. arriving Friday evening and leaving by Sunday evening. They are also brought in a non-religious way. But we do meditation, we do different activities, we have some teachings, so that's very nice, very cozy. And then also Monk Note and Monk Sander, they started creating some retreats since this year, and they're also very nice. I think they organize since last summer. I think 4 or 5 that took place and still have to take place now this winter. And I think they are a little bit longer. I think there you arrive by Thursday evening and you leave by Sunday evening. So that's 3 days instead of 2 days. But they're also very nice. They're also very interesting. If you want to know more about more culture and the religion of Thailand, then this is certainly one to attend. And as I said, since I've ended up there, I go there every week to enjoy a meditation or to guide meditation myself. And it's a really beautiful place, a serene place. Here you can see on the top left, you can see the meditation room. This is the main meditation room, the biggest one that we use mostly for all the meditations. And as you can see, it's very beautiful. It has very good peace energy, so you get calm by just entering there. So it's very nice. And then on the right, you can see a part of the garden, and that is what we call the chapel. So it used to be a Christian chapel, but when the Buddhist monks bought the area, the land, they changed to a Buddhist chapel. So they got I think on the top was a clock there, and now it's been changed by a lotus flower, a closed lotus flower. So they did some minor adjustments, but they kept the place mostly like it was before. So of course they put Buddha statues there and some small adjustments, but they didn't get rid of the really Christian feeling that still is there too. So hereby, everybody is invited to join one of the retreats. You can find some more information on the website if you are interested. And then today we're going to talk more about meditation. I want to start with a brief explanation about what meditation is actually, because before I did meditation, I didn't really know what it is. I had some assumptions, but I didn't really know. Then the second one is how do we do meditation, and that's mostly the Dhammakaya method. There are also some general things in there that are also used in other methods, so it's not specifically linked to this Dhammakaya method, but I'm going to explain how we do it. Then, since today is about meditation preparation, I also want to tell you why it's a good idea to prepare for your meditation. And if you start your meditation and you say, oh, I feel this or I feel that, that's mostly because you did not have a good preparation. So I'm going to tell you how you can recognize this, and I'm also going to give you some tips about your beginner meditation practice and how you can prepare. And then we're going to end off with a real meditation. So, meditation, what is it? I'm going to go back to one of the key concepts that we start with every time. That is, we have two things. We have our body and our mind. That is us. So the body is like the physical thing, who I am. That is my body. It's my hands, it's my skin, it's my shoulders, but it is also my brains. Brains are something physical, so they are part of the body. And the mind is something different. The mind is something we cannot touch. Not a doctor yet has been able to physically touch our mind. Only maybe psychologists or psychiatrists, maybe, but that's not physically touch. That is more influence. So that is a big difference. It's like when you compare it to a cell phone, then we can say that the body is the cell phone itself, the hardware, and the mind is the software. So if you install an app, you don't need to get something physical from a store. You just push some buttons and the software arrives on your cell phone. So that's like the mind. We can change the mind. We can install new modules in our mind without really buying something. We can change ourselves without buying something, only with knowledge, maybe. So that's the big difference between the two. And there is a very beautiful other analogy on that, and that is a car and the driver. So the car is the body. The car cannot go anywhere without the driver, and the driver is the mind. And the driver can get in places without the car, but it would be so much slower. So they both need each other. They are always kind of attached, and they have a mission together, and they need to work together. But they are always separate. The body and the mind are always two separate things. And I'm going to explain this a little bit more with my next slide. So here we can see that the mind controls the body. So everything we do with our physical body, that is the driver of the car or mind that tells us that we have to do something. And sometimes we're on autopilot, the cruise control we have lately and the lane assist. It works very good. But most of the things we do, like when I raise my hand now, this is my mind that decided that I have to raise this hand, and the body just follows. So the mind controls the body in thoughts, in speech, and in physical actions. And the other way around, the body is the home of the mind. So, and that is a very important one because our mind always tends to dwell. Our mind goes to all the things outside our body, to our television, to the screen of our telephone, to other people, to just watching outside. But actually, the mind is much happier when it's inside our body. And you can ask, how can we achieve this? And this is mostly just by focusing on an area inside our body. So that's putting our focus there, or feeling something inside our body. It might be an emotion. It might be pain, for example, something that is aching, itching. It's very good for our mind to get it to resting, to have it in the body. For example, when we pay attention to our breath, also the mind is in the body. And the mind, what does it tend to do? It tends to be distracted with all the things we have to do on a daily basis, things we can't forget. We approximately have, I think, 80,000 thoughts per day. And that's in 16 hours then probably if we sleep 8 hours. So average of 80,000 thoughts a day. That's I don't know how many seconds it is. I would have to calculate, but it's a lot. We tend to jump from one thought to the other thought, and that's why we call it that we have a monkey mind. It's like a monkey swinging from here to there, from this branch to that branch, from this tree to that tree, playing with other monkeys, with other thoughts. And this tends to happen. This is the nature of our mind, and it's just natural. So if this is recognizable, it's also recognizable for me. This is normal. Everybody has it. And here you can see you always have thoughts, and they're always circling around this, that. You're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about emotions, you're thinking about people, you're thinking about. We also tend to think a lot about made up stories in our head. And that's also something I used to suffer a lot from. The what if scenarios and all the useless things we put in our head that tires us so much. And what do we want to achieve with meditation? We want to calm the monkey mind so that when we're just sitting down, our mind is not running from here to there. It's just sitting at peace and at ease. It's just there. It's happy. It's content. And nothing more needs to happen. And how do we do that? Because, as I said, our mind tends to knock here and say, no, we don't want this. I don't want this. I want something to happen. You need to do this. You need to do that. I need to have action. I need to have a banana. That's what it's asking for, a banana. And what happens when you give the monkey a banana? Well, then it just picks a branch, it sits down, and it doesn't move anymore. It's happy. Not with 10 bananas, not with 10 thoughts, just one banana. So that's what we tend to do during meditation. And this is for all the meditation techniques that there are. We tend to focus on one thing and one thing only. Because thinking about nothing, that's what someone told me once, that meditation is thinking about nothing. Well, it's not thinking about nothing, because that's practically impossible. You always have something going on. So what do? We give it a banana and we do one thing only. And that's, for example, focusing on the breath. Breathing in, breathing out, and, for example, counting your breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a very simple but effective technique to calm down the brain and also your whole nervous system. And then your monkey becomes an angel. And then how do we do meditation? And this is more about the Dhammakaya technique that we use in our meditations. I also use it at home when I meditate by myself. Sometimes I use Dhammakaya guiding by someone else. It's like a tape in an app that the monks made, or something that my colleagues recorded. But you can also do it without any guiding if you just know what to do. And how we're gonna start off by the most important thing. We have to be in a state of 50% concentration and 50% relaxation. And that has a very, very important reason, because meditation is a time to relax, a time to slow down, a time to wind down. So you need to have the relaxation. And then you might ask me, why don't we have 100% relaxation? Because then you would sleep. And even in sleep, you only have like 90% relaxation because your mind is still busy with things. And you also need to be focused, very focused on that one thing. Because if you lose your focus on that one thing, that banana we're going to give our mind, then your mind is again going to jump from here to there. So that's something very important, to have this concentration. And also, as I said before, the mind tends to wander. It's also going to happen during your meditation, especially in the beginning. You're going to have so many thoughts, and you will always need to get back to the banana, to the technique. And that's why you need the concentration. And when you're in the 50% balance, then you know that you're on a good way. So, and during the meditation, what are we going to try to do? We're going to try to have the physical relaxation. So our body needs to be relaxed. We need to have the mental relaxation. So our mind is relaxed, our nervous system is relaxed. Then we're going to use a technique of visualization. And that's to give a banana to the eyes, because lots of people are very visual. So when they close their eyes, they start to see images or videos about what happened today, yesterday, or what might happen tomorrow, and their brain just makes that. So we are going to make our brain visualize one thing. For the people who are less visual, you can also, if you really can't see anything, that is no problem, especially in the beginning. This might be hard for people that are not very visual. You can also try to feel it or know or acknowledge that it's there. That works fine in the beginning. And then we're going to use the mantra. A mantra is like a phrase that you recite. During the meditation, you don't have to recite out loud, but I will do the recitation, and you can, if needed, still repeat it in your head. That is a very good technique to silence the voices in our head. And in the end, we're gonna, when we calm down and when we come to a very relaxed state, after that we're gonna share some positivity with the world. And as we said before, the mind should be inside the body. So what are we going to do during the meditation? We're going to bring the mind home, and it's in the combination with the visualization. We are going to have our mind, our attention inside the center of our body. Officially, that is 2 finger widths above the navel, but you shouldn't measure it precisely. It can be an environment. It can be as big as maybe a tennis ball, or maybe a bowling ball, or maybe way smaller, maybe the top of your pink. You can choose how big that center is. That is completely up to you. Just make sure that it feels comfortable, because that is the most important thing. We have to feel comfortable. And we use the center of the body because it's the center of balance, center of support, center of gravity, and it is the strongest point of our body. And we are going to visualize something. You can choose to let it appear in the center of your body while you have your attention there, or you can first choose it to visualize in front of your eyes. Depends what is more comfortable to you. And then we can make it a move to the center of our body. And what are we gonna visualize? Something very neutral. It should be something that does not raise an emotion inside of us. It should be as simple as possible. and also something familiar, something we don't have to put effort to visualize. So it can be something like the sun, the moon, a crystal sphere, uh, a soap bubble, maybe an apple or a drop of water. Even I heard someone saying like, in my home, I have a very beautiful lamp and I see it every day, and it takes almost no effort for me to visualize it. You can also freestyle a little bit. Just make sure it stays simple, and it's something like the lamp, it does not raise emotion. And then about the mantra, the most famous mantra that people use is like Om. But that's more from like Indian and Nepali tradition. It's less Buddhism. Um, this mantra we're going to use, that I'm going to recite, is Sama Arahang. This is two words, and it's ancient Pali. It's like where we have in Europe Latin. It's an old language that is not used anymore. So is Pali in the East. I think it was originated somewhere where Nepal is now, perhaps, I think. And Sama Arahang. Sama means the right way, and Arahang is a clear mind. So actually, between the lines, it means the right way to clear the mind, or to have the clearest mind, or the best way to have the clearest mind, something like that, approximately. Not that it needs to have a meaning, because that's just what we want to achieve. We want to recite something that again not brings us emotion or worries, or that makes our mind wander everywhere. We just want something plain and simple. So you are very free to choose your own mantra if you want, but make sure it's simple and it's just chill. So that's about meditation technique. And then uh, the question, why should we prepare for meditation? Because that's a question that also raised my concern in the past. People told me you should prepare for your meditation. I was like, no, 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 I don't think so. But actually, by doing this, the last couple of months, I achieved very, very, very much better meditations. And if I would known this in the beginning, I would also, how should you say, I would be less skeptical, because in the beginning, when you sit down, you have lots of thoughts. And that's normal, because people tend not to sit down or sit still, always busy with this, with that. And when we sit down and we force ourselves to be still, all those things come up from the subconscious to the mind. So we can say that meditation has two phases. We have, on the one hand, the cleaning phase, and on the other hand, the refining phase. So what does this mean? The cleaning phase is tidying our thoughts. And this is very important, because we tend to skip that always in daily life. We're too busy with this, we're too busy with that. We're driving there, going there, working, waking up, this, that. It never stops. But it's very important to have a moment of time to clean your mind and to let everything just sink down. And then the second part of your meditation is the refining part. And refining is something, it's when you stopped cleaning. So my colleague always says it's like cleaning your house before you invite people. You always have to clean your house before they are coming. And the dirtier your house is, the longer you have to clean. And the refining part is when they when you have your guests. But refining in meditation is more, it's more like it has effect on your brains, on your neurology. So it's something very technical. So I'm not gonna go in depth in that one. I'm just gonna explain more in an analogy, and it's like a glass of water. So our mind is like a glass of water, and it always gets poured dirt into, dirt into, dirt into. We go there, we go there. This person says this, hup, 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 and our glass of water is full of mud. What happens when our mind is blurry? We can't see things clearly. It's hard. It's very hard for us to get a clear and nice overview of what is going on in our lives, or about some situations, about some projects, about people in our life. And that's what meditation does. With patience, when you just put the glass of water there, all the dirt will sink to the bottom. You won't get rid of it. You will just let it sink to the bottom. And eventually you will have a clear sight again. And why do we want that clear sight? Because we don't want to drive this car. If you start driving this car, you need to have a good windshield, and it's gonna work to get your windshield clean. But while you're driving, you don't want that. You want to have a clean window. Or the same like running around with dirty glasses. You're not going to see good while wearing dirty glasses, and the dirtier it gets, the more effort you need to put in cleaning it. So your preparation, and that happens maybe just before your meditation, but it could happen during the day too. Your preparation for your meditation will be the base of how long you will have to clean. And if you have a very good life, a very tidy life, you will have only a smart part cleaning and a very long, good, deep meditation. So I'm gonna share some small tips. So for the beginners, when you start meditation in the beginning, it's always good to start with a clean mind. And I know that's not always easy because we have a very busy life. So, but you can just, if possible, try to do it. Also go with the flow. You need to have no control, no expectations. You just let go whatever happens. Let all your thoughts flow. Don't resist them. The only thing you can do is, like, for example, get back to the breath, get back to the mantra, get back to the visualization. And it's always nice if you have a community around you. So, and because you're now looking at the Riga Meditation School, maybe this could become your community. That would be nice. You can always have a talk with Gundega and ask her for some information or tips.
I'm sorry.